Our results. Yeah. We from the yard where the champs don't sleep. Bloodline real, the roots run deep. The powerhouse Klaus, all muscle and tone. Champion tractor for perfection shown. She's that chocolate color perfection. But Bacana's got that smooth connection. She, the world legend. Shine so bright, now the future's lit, we taking flight. Some Bacanas, we don't play around. Brazil to the States, we shut it down. Drip too clean, our moves too loud. Talk that talk, we made the crowd proud. That's summer talk. Summer talk. Summer talk. Talk that talk, we made the crowd proud. Brazilian bulls, yeah, that's the wave. Stacking winners, we breed brave. Every dog solid, head to the bone. Ain't no copy, this line I own. From the block to the ring, we bring that heat. Big paws, big names, can't compete. Samba family, all worldwide known. We stay original, hold our throne. Mas samba tá pesado demais. Brasil no topo, força em paz. Beat hits it hard, that samba sound. Texas and Brazil, both hold it down.
Hey guys, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Samba Cano's Thursday Night Live. We are here today with everybody from the Samba family. Well, Oscar is not here today because he's busy working, and we are here to talk about this beautiful breed that we love, that's causing a lot of controversy in the bully game, the Brazilian Bulls. We have the Standard here. I will have my family together with you guys. We're going to be talking about each aspect that makes this breed different from the American bullies, right? It's a pleasure for me to be here with you guys every night, bringing not only entertainment, but also networking, and most importantly, education about this breed that is taking over, that is more than a wave, that's already being a passion for everybody that get to put their hands on these dogs. I don't have any words to say how amazed I am how this movement have taken over the world, and so many other breeders, and we're not just talking, we're talking big breeders, old school breeders that are loving this breed and getting together and uniting them to the movement of the Brazilian Bulls. So good night everyone. I want to say good evening to my beautiful family. Oh, we don't say good night when we're arriving, right? So good evening, sorry. I want to say good evening to my beautiful family here. Let me put everybody on board. Tony and Didi, how are you guys doing? Welcome to the live. Welcome back. Beautiful Lauren, how are you? Ryan, how are you doing? Mr. Vito, how are you guys doing? Let's talk a little bit about if you guys have any news to tell me. Didi and Tony, how was your week?
It's been a good week. Busy and kind of hectic, but it's been very productive, and so all the dogs are doing great. It's been getting a little bit warm here, so it's kind of hard trying to keep your dogs cool in Texas, but we're getting there. So
awesome.
Yeah,
it's been a good busy week, but like Didi said, productive. Well, we took Boogie to the vet today. He got his last shot, so we can get him out and about in public. So we're excited about that.
For the ones that don't know, Boogie is Cafeina's and Mon Brusso's male puppy, the one that I used to call him Tuxedo because he's black, full black with a lot of white. That boy is amazing, and he's starting to show off his Brazilian traits. I saw that on the pictures today.
Yeah,
well, thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Amazing,
thank you again for being here. Vito, how was your week? Tell us, what did you do differently this week than you did the other week? Oh, sorry, you're muted. Let me unmute you. Just a sec. because we're getting some echo here, and I want to make sure that everybody listens well. Hey, Vito, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, good. How
I'm
was
good.
your week?
Just tired today. Feeling like an old guy.
How is Flex?
Good. He's I have babysitters that can watch him so I can go out and do some things. That's why I started working out more than I usually do. So
That working out will make you tired, Vito.
yeah, I know. It's crazy. I want to nap.
Yeah, I tell everybody I'm in no shape to get in shape.
I know I need an edible and to sleep.
Right.
Good to have you here, Vito. Hey, Lauren and Ryan, how are you guys doing? How was your week? How have you been?
Life's been busy.
Yes, busy is good, right? Lauren always says that to me. Busy is business.
Yeah, Devin's home from Japan, so we're running all the time, trying to do everything we can with him at the moment.
Nice.
How are you, Lauren? How are the puppies?
Good. Everybody's good. Growing, eating a lot. They're turning just as good and better than what we thought that they were going to. I'm excited about them. Honestly, the older they get, the harder it is to decide still, like, will we really like this one? You know what I mean? Like they're all doing really good though. I'm very, very pleased with the results that we have from this litter.
It's supposed to get
Very
easier. It's supposed to get easier, isn't it?
Yeah, but it doesn't. It definitely does not.
No.
And that's one of the magical things about this breed. It gets harder as they grow, you know. I want to say good evening to our audience from Facebook and YouTube right now. We have a new member. Thank you so much, Ben Dallara Bullies. Is that how you say it? Ben Dallara Bullies. Thank you so much for joining us as a new member. And we're happy to have you here. Please feel free to make comments and questions during our live. We're here to connect people. We're here to bring information, education, and most of all, to have a good time, because this is a big family. This is the Samba family movement, and there's a lot of good things coming up. And this is all about dogs. You know, everybody here loves dogs. We're a big family, and we all love the Brazilian Bulls, and that's why we're here connected. Either way, from the American Bullies or the Brazilian Bulls, we all love these huge, beautiful, loving dogs, and that's why we're here for. Thank you for joining our membership program, Bandalara Bullies. Old School Nick, he's always the first one to say hi. I love to see you here. It's amazing to know that you're always going to be the first one to say hi. Old School Nick, happy Thursday, Samba crew, and all their followers and subscribers. Always look forward to learning more about the Brazilian Bulls. Thank you so much. We also have Thrive Better Now. Brazilian Bulls are amazing. I have to agree with you. I'm biased, but I do agree with you. This is me, I guess. Hey, Deeb Utes. Deeb is actually Juan. He has a Cafeina's daughter, the orange girl.
Nice.
Yes, hit that like button, everybody, and be present, share the live, subscribe to the channel. We're always here on Thursday nights for lives, but we also post content. I haven't been posting a lot because I don't know if you guys know, but my whole family is here visiting from Brazil, and I haven't seen them in about a year. So I've been taking the time because family is everything, you know, and I've been trying to spend as much time as possible with my elderly parents and my daughter and some friends. So we're not having any big videos, but soon I'm gonna have something coming up in the YouTube channel. Hello, everyone. Enrique, also one of our clients. Thank you for being here. Enrique, how is your girl doing? Shane Elliott, she's here too. Hello, all. Fuerza American Bulldogs. Hello from Oregon. Hope everyone is doing well. Yes, thank you so much. We also have Alfonso Duron. Hello, everyone. Hello, Alfonso. Thank you so much for being present here at the Samba Kennels Live. We're going to be talking today about the Brazilian Bull Standard. I'm just giving some time for everybody to share the live, to bring more people, because there's so much misinformation about the Brazilian Bulls, and we are going to be talking about each detailed aspect of the breed. This might be a little boring, but it is so important to understand. You know, this is elevating your game. I'm going to give you guys game here about every little detail of the Brazilian Bulls to make sure that when there is another discussion, is that discussion or argumentation in a Facebook group chat, for example, or in a group of Facebook or Instagram, and these people say they are the same, they just have retarded faces, which I think it's so absurd that people talk like that. It really shows how amateur these comments are, and I don't criticize them. I just think that it's lack of information, and instead of criticizing this type of amateur and even evil type of comments, I'm here to help you understand the differences. Maybe if I can reach one or two breeders that will understand better, I'm doing something for the breed. And this is my goal by bringing the standard, explaining the breed little by little. And I'm going to be having the help of my friends to comment here. Vito, he is very technical. He's a judge. Vito has been breeding American Bulldogs for longer than I remember myself as an adult. Right, Vito?
Oh, yeah.
And he's very technical. He's going to help me with some of the technicality, especially the English terminology. Let's read some more comments. Bullshard Bullies. I don't have my glasses. That's why I'm squinting my eyes. Hello from Maryland. Hello. Speed Diet. Hi, Samba. This is Kevin from PSB. Hey, Kevin. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Bernard Mitchell. Is Puma closed for stud to American Bully? Yes, not only Puma, but all of my studs are closed for American Bully breeding programs. You know, they're not going to be used for registration as American Bullies anymore. We're going to talk about this a little bit later on. Salute, Samba. Bernard Mitchell again. Salute. Did you figure out the pick of the litter for Puma? Sonny Dini. That's it. The pick of the pick. That's with my partner, Lauren. Have you, Lauren?
Have we figured out the pick of the litter?
The pick of the pick, yes.
I think your pick.
I still have 4 picks. So there's not a this one is it. There's 4 of them. I can't.
Yeah, it's just like me. I have 2 males and 2 females from the Cafeína litter that I'm still deciding, you know. And I might keep all of them because as this breed is so young and the gene pool is so little here, the more we keep around us, the better.
I'm thinking the little chocolate girl needs to come to my house.
Speed Diet, give me
chocolate
5 years.
and the blue dog need to come to y'all's house. I'm perfect with that.
Say that again, Lauren.
I said the chocolate girl and the blue dog can go to her house. That'll make her and Tony happy.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Give me 5 years at least, and I'm going to get my first Brazilian Bull puppy. Love this breed. Well, thank you so much. I'll give you 5 years, but I think you should jump on it right now. That's the time to do it. Maurice Tenia, hello. Thrive better now. Welcome. Ogun is doing great. Good to know. GTA content. Hello. Familia Legacy Kennels. That's Hector, if I'm not mistaken, your name, right? Hey, Hector. But they don't have don't they have similar foundational blood? We're going to talk about this.
No. Everybody thinks they do, but they don't.
Yes. I mean, if we think like that, every dog came from the wolves. You know, if you think like that, both American English bulldogs and French bulldogs have similar backgrounds. I mean, there's a lot more that makes a breed than just the genome and just the family tree or just the gene pool. There's a lot more involved. It's the vision, it's the function, it's the demand, it's the acceptance of each market. The market in Brazil accepted these dogs in a different way, or they demanded these dogs to be in a different way. That's why they are how they are. You know, like the American bullies here, they were defined to be a certain type of dog, and the acceptance is what makes the breed. It's not just the gene pool, you guys. You have to open your mind to what makes a breed a breed. It is not just
Thank you.
the pedigree, it is not just the phenotype, it's also demand, it's national geography, population, it is environmental circumstances. Did you know that a dogo in Argentina, there are two different territories of dogos argentinos. Argentina has very different territories. They have very dry mountains and they have very humid valleys. Did you know that the dogo argentino that are in the dry mountains is the same dog phenotypically and genetically as the ones in the forest, but because the dry mountain ones, they have to force their nose to smell better. They've been forcing their noses to smell better because the drought makes the smells kind of like fade away because of the heat. So they have better noses for hunting than the ones in the south because of the they have easy access to smells. So environmental pressure selection is also a way to select a breed phenotype. And this is not by itself, because you can have the same breed with different variants environmentally enforced, but we are talking about same type of bulls, or even if you want to say that the same, okay, the Chevys and the what is the other one, the Ellies, or what are the gargoyles?
Yeah, gargoyle, Viet shark.
Viet shark, that's what I was trying to remember.
Was the Thompsons in there?
Thompsons, yeah, the Thompsons is a Brazilian bloodline already. So even if you drop a whole bunch of bossy dogs, let's be more didactic. Let's be more illustrational for something that is more modern. Let's say that we drop a whole bunch of bossy dogs here, okay? Genetically and phenotypically, they're bossy here in America, in a little colony of dogs, and there's only these dogs to breed with. And then in Brazil, we dropped a whole bunch of bossy dogs. In 10, maybe 20 years, even though these dogs had the same genome, the same breed, and the same pheno, throughout the years, the environment, the demand, and the vision will make two different breeds. And I guarantee this to you. The market selects, defines the breed too. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. We're talking about a kennel. I'm using bosses because it's the most renowned kennel for American bullies. So my idea, just to illustrate, when people say, oh, they are the same base genetically. Yes, you can throw bossy dogs in one island and bossy dogs in another island and in a different country. And in 20 years, they're going to have two different breeds because they breed differently for different vision, for different demand, and different selection pressure. You know what I mean? So this is just a little bit. I'm not going to go too much into details because we could take forever talking about this. But when people say that they have the same background, they do. The same way that American bullies and American pit bull terriers have the same background, the same way as American Staffordshire have the same background, but they are different breed at the end of the day now. After years of selection and visions and market, doesn't matter what, but they became different breeds. Same thing with the Brazilian bulls. And my go for the breed and doing what we have been doing. And this was a decision taken not just by myself, but with my family, because we are one now. The Samba team is one now. And I talked to them for many days to get to this decision, because commercially for me is horrible, but I am overlooking business, I'm overlooking commerce, I'm overlooking kennel blindness, I'm overlooking rivalry, I'm overlooking shows. I'm thinking about the breed, and I want to preserve the traits that the Brazilian Bull have that are exactly what differentiate them from the American Bullies. And if I don't do that, being who we are, having the most influential dogs, if I don't do that, they're going to be keeping bread and bread and bread to American Bullies. So I decided to say, let's stop this. Let's take them back to what they are, independently of money, independently of registry. These dogs are Brazilian Bulls. Shake was a Brazilian Bull before he came here. Tractor was a Brazilian Bull before he came here. So was Klaus. So was Hannah. So was Buchanan. Puma was born a Brazilian Bull. All of my other dogs are born Brazilian Bulls because they're 100% Brazilian Bull parents. Mm-hmm. So why not preserve them as Brazilian Bulls instead of... We had a beautiful 3 years. I'm not going to lie. I'm very thankful for ABKC for adapting them into the American Bully. A lot of people took great advantage of it. I think that we saw that they can beneficiate each other. American Bullies do beneficiate from Brazilian Bulls, as well as Brazilian Bulls do beneficiate as an individual from the American Bully. But as a breed, we are mixing traits that do not belong. Mm-hmm. American Bully has one standard. Brazilian Bull has another one. If we keep mixing, we're going to have mediocre dogs, like I said before. We're going to have beautiful individuals, but we are taking away those traits that we are trying to preserve. Those traits that you're here watching with me loved or hated the first minute that you saw it. Is that the eyes close together? Yeah, maybe it is. But that's what makes them look like a Brazilian dog. This is why you say, hey, that dog, the eyes are so close together. That's a Brazilian dog. Guess what? That's breed type. That's why they are recognized and they have consistency. Maybe you don't like the consistent look. Maybe it's an ugly consistency for you. But for me, they are freaking amazing. And I love that. I love to see the huge masseters and temporal muscles. I love to see the huge neck. I love to see that rear that's bigger than their head and the neck. And that's what differentiates them from each other. That's why my program evolved so much. And that's why everybody came along, not because of hype, because of quality, because of just stuntness. They are stunning, you know? Okay, I'm going to stop talking here because I do talk too much when I get emotional about this breed. It's just the passion, you know?
Can I add one little thing?
Please.
Because I get this all the time. I've argued with people on the board, on my board and other boards. He says, you know, it's the similar foundation. Well, foundation is the dogs you start with, or the dog that is you're bred around, like Gotti or Razor's Edge. I can't remember the dog's name now, but you're talking about dogs that people line bred on, and it's the foundation of the breed. They're not the same. They're not. I mean, you could say they both use pit bull, but you could say pit bull and come up with all kinds of different breeds and dogs that aren't even very related. The Brazilian dogs are not XL American bulldogs that somebody bred an American bulldog to. I don't know why these people won't get it out of their brain, but that's not what happened. Just go and read a pedigree. Bearzilla is not an American bully, an XL American bully bred to an American bulldog. It's not. That's not. Nobody is. Matter of fact, the XL is pretty recent. You know, Shake's dad is an F1 off of an XL, and then you did a breeding with Lily and Klaus. And as far as I know, the foundation certainly doesn't have any. You could say maybe the foundation has pocket blood, but that's so minute. That's not what makes up a huge portion of the blood that is behind Bearzilla and almost everything. So it's not XL Bully and it's not American Bully crossed to American Bulldog. That's what I think. I know everybody, they'll start discussing it, and that's exactly what they say. Oh, those are just dogs from the United States anyway. Like, well, yeah, so what? It's like,
and who made the American Bullies? They're English dogs, right?
they're made here in the United States. They're a United States breed, just like, there was no American Bully in Europe. There was no American Bully anywhere. It happened here. And there was no Brazilian Bull somewhere else. There was no Brazilian Bull in the United States. It's, you can't, I don't know if it's just because they're so similar. They're close, they're close in size. They're kind of close in certain things. Certain features, big differences, exist, but they're not the same foundation.
And even if they were, they could still be a different breed because, like I said,
selection pressure. Like you said.
Selection pressure.
That would take a while, and it would take a while genetically to move a breed that big of a difference. There's some certain things. If you look at the two breeds, there's a big, huge difference. It's the average person that looks at them probably wouldn't see a difference. They'd see dropped ears and a big giant dog that's real sweet, and they're like, yeah, they're the same, which they are in that way. But in the technical things, people that pay attention, once you're into it for a little while, you'll see there's a big difference.
I have Hector saying here, it's no secret that the American Bully as well has bulldogs. Yeah.
Probably Bulldog, American Bulldog, probably English Bulldog. Who knows? Who knows? Bull Mastiff, Russet Canario. I've heard things, but we don't know, so it's kind of hard to say. Nobody knows.
Well,
I've never seen one on a pedigree.
The good news is that we don't hide pedigrees. We show it, and we're proud of it. And we not only show it, we classify it, because the right way to show it is nominating the filiation of each generation, meaning F1 means filiation 1, F2s mean filiation 2, F3 is filiation 3, and this is how you understand the progress of the breed. So not only IBC did it right by accepting the insertion because they saw the demand for the commercial demand, the clients and the breeders were asking for a dog that has more volume, that had a more voluminous, is that the word? Voluminous, that's too hard for me, head and muscle. And that's when they said, okay, we are opening the stud books, and it's okay to add the Bulldog as long as we have individuals that will contribute, not exaggeratedly, but they did it. And in Brazil, they're not using as many F1s anymore. They do here and there each program, but they are already in the F2s and F3s, and it's working, and having the control, the administrative and genealogical control of how far you are, that's how you form a breed. And I think they're doing a great job by doing that. This is how it is supposed to be done, because every breed started from multiple breeds at one point, and doing it correctly, it just gives more transparency and more power of decision making when you know exactly what is behind your pedigrees. Ryan from Hawaii. Hey Ryan, what's up, my brother? Bear is the Bulldog American Bull Foundation. He's very similar to New Iron, but not the same. American Bullies, you just have to know the background. Okay. I don't know who that is, but I'm sure a lot of you guys do. Oh, that's my daughter. Mom, I'm home. Okay, honey. Hey, Samba family. Hope all is well. Thank you so much. Guys, I want to give a little, I want to say hi to everyone on Instagram. We have a huge amount of people today. We have more than 60 people on the live today. And I want to say hi to everyone on Instagram, but I want to let you guys know that if you guys want to participate and want me to read your comments, please join us on either Facebook or YouTube, Samba Cano's channel, because it's hard for me to read the things, because so many people just browse through and there's so many names coming through that I miss the comments. Okay, it's not that I'm rude, it's just because I cannot keep up with you guys. This Instagram thing is too fast.
Audia, I just seen that Rafa was on Facebook there. I just wanted to say hi to him. He's definitely
yes,
a friend,
Rafa.
definitely a friend and part of the family. So I wanted to say hi to him.
Hey,
He's
Rafa.
an
Yes,
in-law.
Rafa has Canelo. He has
Yes.
Canelo from Tractor and Hannah.
Yep.
All right, guys. So for everybody that's here, wanting to know a little bit more about the Brazilian Bull Standard, I think this is a great opportunity for you to share this live right now. Share to the ones that you know that love this breed, the enthusiasts that are iffy about this breed, and even for the haters, please share this live, because I want everybody mastering the Brazilian Bull Standard right now. I'm gonna try to read as slowly here and get a little bit of help of everyone, and we can also have some questions. And I was going to prepare a material here that we could compare the two breeds, just to unmystify that they're the same, but I'm not going to do that, because you guys probably know the American Bully Standard better than anyone, and I'm just going to focus on the Brazilian Bulls, because this is what I'm here for. And we are going to read, but I also want to go to the last page where we have pictures and some writings here. I want to make sure to also let you know that we do have two types. We have two classes, just like in the American Bully, like you guys have four. You have the pockets, the standard, the classics, and the XL. The Brazilian Bull breed is ruled by the IBC, International Breed Certificate. This is, oh, sorry, I thought I had you guys on stage. Just a second, because I'm reading here. Okay, how do I add to the stage? There you go. So this is the logo of IBC, International Breed Certificate. This is the mother club. I call it mother club, but it's the parent club of the breed. They were the ones that back then, when the breed was only a hype, people were just wanting pit bulls on steroids. They understood that the breed was growing too much, and they were not pit bulls. They were far heavier and taller than pit bulls to just be called a pit bull. So they started selecting stronger dogs, and that's when IBC noticed that the shows, people were taking these big pits. It became a trend in the beginning, and there was no registry that said, hey, let's put together a standard, let's put together rules, let's define a way to make these dogs functional and healthy. And this was written by people that are extremely experienced in dog breeding, that they have been breeding dogs for many years, including Beatrice. She is a veterinarian. She's also a, what do you call when you have a death that a person goes and inspect the crime, like the crime expert, She is a
detective.
Forensic. She's a forensic.
Well, but forensic is like she is that type of expert for the bull breeds in Brazil. She's a veterinarian that is also, for example, she works with the legal part of the breed. Okay, good example. We had one of our states forbid any type of pit bulls breeding in that state. And one of our pit monster breeders, or Brazilian bull breeders, was raided by the police because they were calling that he was breeding pit bulls. So Beatrice was invited by the law team of the breeder to prove to the city or to the county, whatever did that to him, that those dogs were not American Pit Bull Terriers. And she has so much knowledge technical knowledge that every time there is something like that, she works with the lawyers providing information, technical information, to prove that these dogs are not pure American Pit Bull Terrier, and remove and revoke any type of the legal decision that euthanizing the dogs, for example. So IBC's Beatrice, the president, she's very knowledgeable. She's a veterinarian. She's been breeding bulldogs, American bulldogs, for more than 25 years. And she was the one that had the vision that said, hey, we need to make this the standard for this breed. Otherwise, it's going to go all over the place. And we're going to have this done through IBC. She already had IBC. And that's how it all started, okay? Let's start from the start. Do you want to read it, Vito? Can you read it?
I have it here, I think.
Yeah?
I think it's the same. You want me to read right there? Okay.
Yeah, let's start from the history.
Pit Monster Brazilian Bull. A few years ago, this magnificent breed emerged. Dogs with substantial mass and an appearance similar to the American Pit Bull Terrier were nicknamed Pit Monster by breeders. However, the difference between the breed and the traditional pit bull are significant. With a calm temperament and a gigantic proportions, the IBC determined that separating the breeds would be the most appropriate way to address this matter. Since 2017, the IBC has recognized the Pit Monster as the official breed, allowing them to forge their own path with thousands of admirers worldwide. The selection and pursuit of more robust dogs became so intense among breeders that in 2023, the IBC saw a need to divide the breed competition into two categories, the standard type and the extreme type. This vision only applies to conformation shows. The breed itself remains unified, allowing genetic interchange between types.
Can I make a comment? This is important that we talk about. So in the ring, the standard type usually are the dogs that don't have the American Bulldog insertion. They tend to be more terrier, a little lighter in bone and in mass, and a little bit more terrier looking. And we are talking, the standard type are the old school Brazilian Bulls, the old school Pit Monsters. The extreme type is usually the recent ones with more American Bulldog influence. But for example, if Klaus went to a ring, he doesn't have any Bulldog in him, in the American Bulldog, but because he's an extreme dog, he would be in the extreme type. Now, a very curious information. In the same litter, you can have extreme and you can have standard. So it is not a registration separation, it's just for the ring, okay? So it's up to the breeder to define, hey, my dog is too light to go to an extreme type, so the name is Brazilian Bull, no matter what. Just like the American Bully, no matter what the class is, but you know what it is according to the size and the phenotypical final results at an adult age. Next, Beto, objectives.
Okay.
Or goals.
Objectives, okay. Provide pit monsters with a recognition at events, exhibitions, establish their own breed standard. Standardize the American Pit Bull Terrier by fully separating it from the Pit Monster, maintaining both breeds with their distinct original standard. The classification into type allows modern extreme and the traditional standard Pit Monster to compete without needing to create a separate breed, which could harm the breed's genetic diversity and health. The ultimate goal of every Pit Monster breeder should be to be achieving perfection, prioritizing the breed's health, temperament, and type. According to the IBC, the breed should exhibit the following characteristics: Pit Monster, standard type. The ideal Pit Monster is a loyal and affectionate dog. As the name suggests, these dogs exude immense strength. With a large, well-proportioned head and a muscular body, the Pit Monster must possess one of the most defined muscular structures among canine breeds, combining endurance and power. Aggressive behavior towards humans is not characteristic of the breed and is highly undesirable. Physical characteristics: exceptionally strong and well-defined muscular builds, solid constitution, short coats, and a body slightly longer than tall. Females
Repeat that, guys.
uh,
Body slightly longer than tall, not a square.
females might be slightly longer than males.
So here we have our first difference than what the standard of the American Bully asks for. The body is extremely muscular. That's okay. The short coat and the body length is a little longer than tall. So it tends to be more a rectangle than a square. And we all know that the American Bully standard requests a square.
Mm-hmm.
That's our first difference right there.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
A large head, medium length with the skull, with a flat skull and a broad muzzle that gradually tapers towards the nose. Ears are medium to small, set high, and can be natural or cropped.
Can I stop you there for a second? I want to show a large head, medium length with a flat skull and a broad muzzle that gradually tapers towards the nose. What does that mean? We have another difference, you guys. Look at this. The muzzle line, the inferior muzzle line, and I've talked about this before, it is not blocky like the American Bully. It is not squared. It has a slight triangle formation in the pointier formation. That's the second difference from the American Bully standard. Okay, you guys? Correct, Vito?
Yes, I think that's contributes to the optical illusion that they have really close together eyes. I think it has to do with they have more of a pit bull skull. If you get underneath, if you could X-ray the dog's skull, I think these dogs have a little bit more of a pit bull skull, a tapered type skull and muzzle, as opposed to American Bullies. A lot of them tend to be more chunky, like a Mastiff type head. And then you put all that muscle on there, on that narrower skull, that more of a pit bull skull, and it gives the illusion that their eyes are close together. Well, really, what it is they just have double the muscle on the cheek and on the skull, and it just looks weird. It looks weird till you get used to it.
And once you get used to it, everything else looks weird, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say, I want their eyes closer together. I want to be.
No, of course. I mean, neither. But what I mean is, once you get used to this look, and I'm not talking the American Bullies, if you have a Brazilian Bull that does not have these traits, it untypifies the breed. It is not what the breed requires, because I always said a dog starts on the head. The head is the main business card or the face of the breed. In Portuguese, we say business card when we're talking about the first thing that you see is the face of the dog. So the dog is what defines the breed, the first impression of the breed type. So if you have a Brazilian Bull that doesn't have these lines, and I always talked about you guys about this, the very defined contour, right, Didi?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Contour lines, and one of the main traits on the Brazilian Bulls is this contour right here, because they have such strong forehead bone and muscle mass on the forehead, cranial, temporal muscles, that huge impression of mass, just like Vito was saying, it makes the eye look close together, which is actually an optical illusion. And when I said that, people laughed at me, but that's okay. We're here to help educate and not to criticize, okay? This is the standard here. Let's go back to the readings.
They say business card. In the United States, we call it the calling card. So Brazilian Bull's head muscle is their calling card.
The
In other
calling
words,
card. Okay.
that's what you put out that represents the dog, shows that defines you.
That's what they are. Yes.
And another thing is, every time we read Pit Monster, the new standard already has Brazilian Bull, but I have had this since the breed was, we did the standard first and then we changed the name. So just the cover has Brazilian Bulls. Everything here, this is an older version, but it's the latest version. We just don't have the Brazilian Bulls instead of the Pit Monster. So every time we read Pit Monster, I want you guys to understand Brazilian Bull. And sorry for that. I should have gotten a better version, a newer version. But the content is the same, okay?
I'll try to change it as I think about.
No, they have it. They already have it. I just forgot to ask IBC about it, to send it to me.
So he was gonna read it with the Brazilian Bull.
Yeah. So the next thing is a low set tail, thick at the base, tapered towards the tip.
Hey, where are you? Sorry.
Below the ears.
Ears, okay.
And so then the breed comes in all colors and all markings. There's no colors that I guess are taboo.
Did we talk about the ears? High set, can be cropped or natural if they're natural rose shaped.
Yeah. Oh, I guess we didn't say rose shape.
Yeah,
Ears are medium to small, set high, and can be natural or cropped.
Okay, the neck. The neck is very important. Medium length, very, very muscular. Shows distinct arch near the skull and gradually widens towards the shoulder. So this is one of, for me, it's a very important trait of the Brazilian Bulls, to have a huge neck that's almost bigger than the head. And I have a hard time with my leashes here or my collars because I use slip-on collars, and they usually slip because their necks are so, not the slip-ons, I'm sorry, the regular collars. They always slipped because their heads are, their necks are so big that it's about the same size of the talking.
You're the next page. I haven't finished this page yet. You want me to finish from the ears down here? The temperament's the next thing.
Oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong place. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sure?
Unless you have a different copy than me.
Oh, maybe we do.
I'm on temperament.
Okay, go ahead.
It's the same. Okay, so temperament. The Brazilian Bull is loyal, stable, and confident. They enjoy pleasing their owners, have a joyful disposition, have excellent and make excellent companions. Their extreme strength makes them one of the most robust canine breeds requiring responsible ownership. Health and athleticism. Dogs should be athletic and healthy, free from respiratory issues. They must be able to engage in outdoor activity without concern, except in extreme heat or cold.
Yes. And at the end of the day, that's extremely crucial for our breed, and especially in United States, because mind you, in Brazil, the temperatures are a lot milder than they are here, but they do have extreme weather too. But having a more athletic dog, having a better chest, you have good lung disposition. If you have bigger chest, you have a waist because of the positioning of the hips. This all gives longevity to the dogs, and this is why they selected for athleticism. Okay, guys.
It's milder temperatures there, really. That's why.
Yeah, it is.
Because I was watching, I get all these reels now about Brazil, and they were talking about the Northern Territory. I forget.
It's hot. It is hotter there.
No, I think they were saying it's the only place that gets a little bit of snow.
No, the south, because the closer we are to, because we're in the south.
Did I say north? I meant to say south.
Yeah, the south. Yes, sometimes.
I guess because I've grown up above the equator, I keep thinking anything south is hot.
But we don't have we barely have 32 degrees is 0 Celsius, right? So having 20 degrees is it's very odd, you know, even where it's really cold, and it's just a few days in the year anyways where they have it.
You know, I'll say one other thing about this breathing and the muzzle and all that stuff. I probably won't live to see anything go awry, but I've been through it with American Bulldogs, and I've seen them take a breed and try to breed extreme features, and they don't care about the breathing. And then when they close the stud books and you start line breeding, it became a huge problem in American Bulldogs. Something I took 15, 20 years to fix, and they still have a lot of breathing issues. And I haven't seen too many of these dogs with any breathing issues, but I'm starting to see a couple here and there that have a little more of an extreme bully head that I can kind of tell that probably comes from either American Bulldog or that's another thing too. A lot of these XL pit bulls, we don't know, but they probably have American Bulldog in them. I mean, I can tell you from 15 years ago, I had a couple really hot black males, and I would get once or twice a month, I'd get American Bully breeders that would contact me and say, would you pay your stud fee? Would you send me semen? Just don't tell anybody. I'm like, no, I don't do that. I don't want to mess with that. But so if they're asking me, they've asked a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go.
All right, good. I'm just posting a few of the comments that we're getting here in the meantime. Where did we stop, Vito?
Head. The
Okay.
shape from above the head appears triangular and slightly flattened. Musculature, high, pronounced, with well-developed zygomatic arches and masseter muscles. That's probably the biggest difference I see between a typical
100%. Yes.
American Bully.
This is what we're talking about right here.
Okay, the stop is moderately defined, forming an angle of 45 to 60 degrees when viewed from the side. Circumference of the head circumference must be larger than the height at the withers.
So, guys, this is something that is very curious. I've never seen any other breed standard request this because we are pushing for the biggest heads of all breeds. The circumference of the head, if you measure it, so usually we're talking 28, 29, 31, 32 inches big, you know, the big heads they have. It has to be 10%. Is that what you said? Then the height to the withers, or 10 centimeters.
Larger.
Has to be
Larger. So if the dog's 24 inches at the shoulder, his head's got to be bigger than 24.
Yes, that they're pushing for bigger heads than bodies, you know.
Yeah. Montbrusso is probably what, 20, 21 inches? I'm not sure, but.
Montbrusso's is 21 inches, but he's got a 31 head, I think.
I think it was 31.
So he's 10 inches over. There is another breed that specifies that. The Dog de Bordeaux, they used to say that they would say that the head has to be, in a male, the head has to be the same circumference as their height. So if they're 25 inches tall, they need to be 25-inch head. But
which one is it?
The Dog de Bordeaux.
Okay.
They have it where they say that they want the head circumference to be the same as the dog's height at their shoulder.
Wow.
But this is saying it has to be larger.
Yes.
So if you have a 22-inch dog, you need a 23-inch head, bigger than 22 inches.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. An error or disproportionately small head is a fault. Okay. We don't want that.
Okay,
Now muzzle.
Muzzle shape, broad and deep, tapering gently towards the nose.
That's one of the things we just talked about that is different also from the American Bullies.
Proportion shorter than the skull with a 2-to-3 ratio to the total head length. I think there's a picture that illustrates that.
Yeah, that's the standard though. I'm pretty sure. 2 to 3 ratio is the standard. You see, you have a slider stop line. You have the same taper to the top, to the nose, and
Oh.
you have the 2/3 ratio to the muzzle. We're reading the standard for the Brazilian Bull Classic or the standard class, okay?
Was I reading the wrong one?
No, it's
No,
okay.
you're good.
You're good. It's about the same. There's just gonna be some more observations for the extreme type.
The jaw, the mandibula,
Mandibula.
Yeah.
is
Mhm.
well developed, broad and deep. Lips tight and well fitted. That's another thing. They're tighter. They're usually, not always, but they're usually a little tighter everywhere. Like some of the really nice American bullies will have some wrinkle on the bridge of their nose or in between their eyes, and some of them have a little bit of a pendulous slip, a little bit more of lip to them. Lips tight and well fitted. Nose large with wide open nostrils in any color. Fault, lack of pigment is considered a flaw. Teeth and bite. Preferred complete set of white teeth, scissor bite. Minor fault, level bite, reverse scissor bite, slight undershot or slight underbite, and missing teeth. Severe fault is pronounced underbite. I guess that means the teeth are sticking out, or just you can tell just looking at the dog with his mouth shut.
Yeah.
Overbite or jaw misalignment.
Yes. Malocclusion. So basically, the bite is, we see a lot of reverse scissors, which is a prognatism that's actually just the under jaw goes a little more prominent than the top jaw. And I don't see bite, as long as it's not severely pronounced, like the underbite or the overbite. It's something that I really don't pay too much attention yet, because I think that there are this is very easy to fix. And we have so many other issues to worry about structurally in the dogs, but it is not penalized unless it's a very pronounced underbite. You have like, a half an inch bulldog looking dog. It is not penalized on the show rings. And an overbite is actually something that I learned over the years, that 90% comes back to almost scissor after, because these dogs, they tend to have their underjaws growth in a very slight pace, growing faster than the top jaws. It happened a lot in dogos. I had overbite puppies that at 2 years old, they were already fixed. So I'm not too concerned about that.
In American bulldogs, the puppies, when they lose their teeth, that's when they get the undershot. So you can have a puppy at 6 weeks that's almost even, and then by 4 or 5 months, when his teeth come in, the jaw changes, and you'll actually get an undershot. Hopefully, well, you can have a reverse scissor, or you can have up to like a ½ inch. But a lot of American bulldogs, they can be an inch undershot. I mean, I've seen them where their teeth stick out. I've had dogs where their teeth stick out. So, and it's probably from selection. People were all worried 30 years ago, 25 years ago about breeding bully, short muzzle. That was a look they wanted. And so I used to have people that say, oh, I don't want him. His teeth are even. I want the one with the undershot. And I'm like, well, if these dogs are undershot at 6 or 8 weeks, they're going to be severely undershot at 4 months, because it changes. They start growing that undershot when they lose their teeth. And people wouldn't believe me. And then they get the dog and say, yeah, one of his teeth always sticks out when he comes up from a drink. Like, I told you. All right, where are we at? Ears.
Ears. Oh, there we are, the ears now.
Oh, am I in the right spot? Yeah, ears.
Yeah.
Position, high set, can be cropped or natural, preferred natural shaped, rose shape. for the natural ear. Acceptable shapes, drooping as long as they are small and do not resemble a hound's ear. So I guess drooping means like a flap ear.
Yes.
Severe fault is erect ears positioned on top of the head. That'd make them easier when you crop them.
This erect ears position on top of the head. They're talking the French bulldog type of ears. That they're very erect and straight.
In American Bulldog, we get that occasionally. It's like when you get that rose ear, a lot of rose ears are smaller, they're thinner, a little thinner. Then you get the flap ear that's a little meatier, like a Mastiff type of drop ear. And sometimes you get that rose ear, and then you get some funky thing, and the ears stick up. I've had people. There was a guy years ago bred to one of my dogs to a female that wasn't related, and produced a super nice female, but she had ears that were prick ears like that. And of course, everybody's like, Vito's putting a French bulldog in. So it happens in pit bulls all the time too. That it's just a weird combination of that lighter, thinner rose ear, and then it just doesn't. It's confused. It doesn't know if it wants to be a flap or if it wants to be a rose ear. Severe faults, erect ear. Okay, we did that one. Neck, medium length, very muscular. Shows a distinct arch near the skull and gradually widens towards the shoulders. The body, the chest, deep, full, and broad. Rib cage, well arched, creating a strong, wide, and muscular body. Back, strong and firm with slight downward slope from the withers to the croup. It's weird that people always, for years, people have always said, no, I want a wide chest. I want a wide chest. And I was like, the chest, they're talking about the shoulders. They want those wide, what do they call it? The spread. They want a wider shoulder stance, because the chest, to me, I guess if you look at the front, the shoulders and the rib cage make the chest, I guess, to some people. To me, it's the shoulders. The chest is the rib cage to me. Mm-hmm. And I guess, these dogs are going to have some pretty wide barrel shaped chests. Okay, forequarters. Legs, strong, muscular, and well spaced. Shoulders, well angulated, broad, and muscular. Faults, weak bone structure, loose elbows, and misaligned limbs. Hindquarters, structure, strong, muscular, and wide. Thighs, well developed with thick, defined muscles. Movement, well angulated for powerful movement.
Yeah, we like good rear angulation. You see that most of my dogs are very, very well angulated on their hindquarters.
The feet, well proportional to the body, arched and firm. Faults, weak pasterns or splayed feet.
Okay, guys, this is another thing that for me, feet is a detail. And mind you, I am a person that I am addicted to structure. I am very, coming from dog showing in a traditional breed, having the caliber of dogs that I had in my other breed and winning World Dog Shows and Westminsters, and you have to be addicted to structure. But even then, for me, feet is a detail. I look at the overall qualities of the dog, and I'm not going to not select a dog because of the freaking feet that's a little splayed, Even Shake, he didn't have the best feet, but who is not going to use Shake for everything else that he had just because his toes are a little longer, or his feet is a little open because of that freaking muscle that he had on his shoulders. So we have to stop being so picky on designed breeds that are not traditional breeds. These are breeds in formation. The difference of these breeds to the traditional breeds is the wow factor, and you don't have wow factor and structurally perfect dogs. And at this point, we prefer to have dogs with a little bit of flaws that we can fix along the way, but with the breed type and the hyper type and the wow factor that this breed requests us to have. You know what I mean? So just a little, my 2 cents here when it comes to feet and teeth and all of that stuff.
Yeah, it goes back to the one I've said before, that Confucius saying where I'd rather have a diamond with flaws than a pebble that's perfect.
That's right.
Shake is a diamond, and if he has flaws, he's just so incredible in all these other ways that it overlooks it, because this breed isn't a hound dog that's got to run for 20, 30 minutes in the heat. They're a powerhouse that's made to impress.
Sorry. Let's go even further. Let's talk about Klaus, the dog that brought the attention to the Brazilian bulls. Or, at that time, there weren't Brazilian bulls, but that's what made me who I am today. It was Klaus. Klaus has a whole bunch of flaws, and I still want to bring him because he was so freaking different from everything that I had seen. Klaus was just uniquely different. He had something, and I honestly didn't even like his look. Like I said, Jesus, he's weird. Like his face is weird, but I don't know. There's something about this dog. I need to see that this dog is real, because it looked like AI. We didn't even have talk about AI in 2021, 2022. But when I saw that dog, I said, I need to put hands on this dog. And I end up bringing him when everybody said, you're crazy. This is a black fawn. And I said, I don't see color. I see the dog. And he has flaws. I knew he had flaws, and he still broke the internet. And he keeps breaking the internet every time I post a video of him with 5 years old, 5.5 years old. He's still amazing. His muscle definition, the powerhouse look on him, it's just crazy. So he's a very good example. He has even more flaws than Shake. And I bred out the flaws in first and second generations. Look at Tetra, and then look at Sultan. Look at Sarah Roach's female, Tokaya. Look at all these dogs. I mean, it's amazing. The progress is so easy to do when you work with the right individuals, when you have the right vision.
Klaus is what hooked me. I would see those videos you put up, the little shorts. Canal Rocha. I'm like, whoa, look at this sucker. He got me motivated, and I kept thinking, yeah, they're cool. And then I started seeing all the other crew coming over, and I'm like, man, he's not just one anomaly. He's one of many freaky dogs like that. Okay, where are we at? This tail?
Yes, sir.
Low set, tapering towards the tip. False. Short, curled, or docked.
Awesome. We're going to look at the pictures in a little bit, okay, you guys? I'm going to go back to the pictures after we finish this.
The coat and skin. The coat is smooth and shiny. The skin is preferably thin and tight. False, excessively loose skin, or molluscoid-like skin. Mastiff type skin, is that what that's supposed to mean?
Yes. Explain molluscoid-like skin, please.
It's real thick. If you look at an English Mastiff and you grab his hide, it's got like a layer of fat underneath it or something. The skin's thicker. I'm not sure exactly why, but they have a thicker, and that's one of the differences I see in American bullies, typical American bullies. There's some American bullies that are ripped, but most of them have that kind of a smoother side, like a Mastiff type dog, or like even a lot of English bulldogs, they're not short fur, they're not super thin skin. They have that subcutaneous fat underneath the skin, so they have a thicker hide. Whereas, I don't know, the only dogs I know of that have that really short fur is, a lot of game bred pit bulls or UKC show type pit bulls, Amstaffs. They'll have that really short fur and like zero fat under the skin. Zero subcutaneous fat.
That's a huge difference. You're talking about all the skin tissue around the body of the dog and the looseness, and not only it's the density of the skin and also the density of the coat. My dogs, they usually tend to have not Shake, because Shake had, maybe because of the American Bully in him, his coat was thicker. But Tractor, Bucanas, Puma, Mandibula, um, even Klaus, they have very, very thin coat and very smooth texture to the coat, and that is a trait that it is very impacting as a difference, a big difference from the XLs. Okay.
That's exactly, my two Shake girls are kind of like that. Their hair isn't long, but it's just I don't know. It's kind of hard. It's a little bit puffier. But then Ella and Flex, it's like peach fuzz. It's like,
Ella is Tractor's daughter, and Flex is Mom Russo's and Cafeina. Cafeina has such a smooth coat, and dark and black dark. It's crazy. It's beautiful.
yeah, that type of fur and that low body fat under the skin allows you to see all the fibers and the muscle and the blood pumping through the arteries.
Yeah.
That's a feature I love. Like I that's one of the big reasons why I'm crazy for Flex. And he's a little puppy, and he's already can kind of see the muscle, but he has zero body fat underneath his fur, and his skin is kind of thin, and his hair is like peach fuzz. It's so short.
And this is why do this breed requires that every aspect of a breed standard has a function, okay, or has a purpose, not a function, a purpose. Some standards are for working dogs, or for there's a phrase that says form follows function. You have a function, and that's why you have a standard. In this case, these are companion dogs, but what is their function? To have the desired look that everybody requests, right? So what makes this breed different than the others? The most, that we said it in the beginning, the most muscular breed of all times, the most defined, well muscled up. And how do we notice that muscle? With a thinner density coat and with a thinner density skin, okay? Because that's what is going to be. Maybe the dog is muscular, but under a thick jacket like this of fur, you don't see it. You know what I mean? So this is a very, very important trait of the breed too, almost as important as the head type.
Okay, height and weight. I looked this up after the nationals when I picked this thing up, and I looked up how much these centimeters and all this stuff is. So a male in inches is supposed to be 19.6 inches to 25.5 inches, and the bottom weight is they have to be over 99 pounds.
I'm writing here 19.6 to 25.5 inches.
Yeah, so I guess is that
Males. I'm writing for everybody to on Facebook and in YouTube. That's for the males. And what about the females?
females at the withers? They should be 17.7 inches to 23.6, and they need to be over 88 pounds.
Sorry, I wrote by mistake 10 pounds. It was 100. So females over 88 pounds. And what are the heights from?
Might as well just say 17 to 24.
There, we have another difference from the XL American Bullies. They can actually be a little shorter or a little taller, because
Yeah,
the XLs
that's
is 23, right?
Yeah, that's why when we went to those shows and you see Shake in the ring, he looks like he's 2 inches taller than everybody, and he's got a long neck. People don't realize that he's got a huge neck, but it's pretty long. So he's 24. We measured him like 24. So even if he's like 24.5, he's not the top. He's not the XXL. He's within the standard. Okay, movement. Confident and powerful gait. Trot should be balanced, covering ground efficiently. False, dragging or crab walking.
Can you explain what crab walking is, sir? Our judge.
Crab walking, I think, is uh, kind of what happens with really wide dogs. They have a double track. You know
Like
how
the
it's
Filas, the Brazilian Filas do that.
they and that if a dog sometimes they what they call pacing. It's
Yep.
when they move the two legs on one side at the same time and two legs
That's
on
it.
the other side, and then you know it can happen with any dog. So you just stop the dog and move them a little faster, a little slower. But that's crab walking. It happens from being a little too wide. They can get that
I think a little too long, you meant.
long in the body. I don't think the length. I think the crab walking, you know, walking like a crab. I think that refers to double track. You know, with the legs real wide, they move at the same. I used to know all these terms, but I don't pay attention too much to all that stuff. But
In the shepherd breed, it was they either paced or they trotted. And
right.
The opposite legs, one's back, one's forward, or they move with the same side at the same time. It's when they're pacing. And I believe that might be the same as the crab walking.
Yeah. Dragging, I don't know what dragging means. They're dragging their feet, I guess. You got
Yeah, like they're dragging something.
yeah, I've seen dogs where they scrape. You look at their paw and the back and they don't have any hair on the knuckles, and it's because they for some reason they have a weird gait where and they're moving forward, their back feet sometimes rub on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And I was double checking here, and the crab walking, it's actually a side winding gait.
Oh, okay.
A gait where the dog moves forward with their body angled to the line of travel, so their back feet track to the other side of the front seat. So they literally walk on sideways, you know, and that's a fault. Hey guys, let me just say something here. Eloy Moreno, thank you for joining. I think you're coming here and you're asking, isn't the BB and the AB the same dog with different standards, just that the AB got introduced with Mastiff? I want you to go back, you probably just came in, I want you to go back once we finish this live and watch the beginning. Everybody that missed the beginning, it is very important, the 10-15 minutes of the beginning of this live, once we post it, because we explain a few, not just technically the standard we already pointed at least, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 differences that are very crucial for a breed type, but also environmental, geological, and genotypical, and demand pressure, selection pressure. Okay, so there's a lot of factors that made these two breeds different, even if they came from the same parents. After a few generations, of course, it takes time, like Vito said, but it's possible that a breed will diverse like this one did. So, and this is what we're talking about tonight. This is why I wanted to bring information and education to the public, so you understand a little better the standard of the Brazilian bulls. And a lot of people asking me, what is the reasoning on closing Brazilian bulls to USA? There's a lot of questions, a lot of people texting me on my DMs. Stay with us, and at the end of this live, I will talk a little bit about this. I will answer some questions, but you have to stay until the end of the live. So we will talk about it, okay? For everyone that's curious. Disqualifications.
Aggression towards humans. Severe.
100%.
Yeah, I think that's a big strength. I've noticed, I don't know if it's because they're kind of a scary opposing dog to people that they've never seen one, but everybody that comes in contact with my dogs, if I'm out in public, they just flip out because they're so sweet They can tell they're just real sweet. And I kind of, if you're not used to a big dog like that, and I'm sure it's the same way in American Bullies. I've seen all the American Bullies I've seen are real sweet. It's kind of disarming to see a big scary dog with the clipped ears and just looks like a cartoon pit bull. And then you see they're just a big sweetheart. People, I don't know, people won't leave me alone. It's like I'm like, oh, why did I bring him in here? I'm in a rush.
You got to stop and talk to everybody. I found what was kind of funny that we had to when we took him to the baseball field to see all the kids. The adults were the ones that would back away and get scared, and they'd get frightened from him. The kids just all run up to him and, can I pet your dog? And it's like, absolutely. And he just laid there and rolled over while all the kids rubbed on him. But I just thought it was funny that all the adults were the ones that were kind of skittish and kind of backed away from just a little bit. But the kids just loved him. No fear in the kids. And he just loves them.
100%. I love his temperament.
I really haven't seen one dog that I think has kind of got a really bad temperament or has weird skittishness or anything. So the Brazilians have done an excellent job. Yes. I don't know where it comes from. I mean, American Bulldogs are nice and Pit Bulls are nice. But my American Bulldogs, they tend to love people. But if somebody walks a Pit Bull or a German Shepherd that's given the stink eye, they automatically go into, oh, you want to fight? So you want to mess with me? What'd you call my mama? Whereas the Brazilian dogs are like, hey, hi, let's be friends.
Absolutely.
So it's nice. It's a nice thing to deal with. Okay, severe structural deformities. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be bad. Extreme mobility issues, insufficient breed characteristics.
Breed type.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, stenotic nostrils. So those pinched nostrils. That's another thing you can get. It comes from a lot of English Bulldog and Dog de Bordeaux. And it's a portion of American Bulldogs, because like I've told people before, American Bulldog, the bully type, if you go 15 generations back and add up all the percentages of English Bulldog, they're at least 25%. And these are English Bulldog problems, these little pinched nostrils. Long coats. Male dogs without both testicles descended.
Yes. This is pretty much like most breeds have the same, disqualification terms, but of course. Now we're going to talk about the oversized extreme type, the few differences here for the extreme. So basically the standard is the guideline, but with these key differences for the extreme. And who is the extreme? If you guys don't remember, in the beginning of the live, we were explaining that the standard is one, but we can have two different types. The ones that are the most modern, that have, the pumpkin head, there's influence of American Bulldog. And then we have the older standard type, which resembles more of a terrier looking dog. But like I said, you can have, because the breed is so new and because of the hybrid vigor that you have from outcrossing, and although a lot of people says inbreeding, this is so outcrossed still. We're talking about two different breeds and working from there down. The hybrid vigor, you can have different types. You can have the two different types in one litter. You can have extreme dogs, and you can still have some standard types in the same litter. So they differentiate only for the ring. Okay, you guys. Okay. Now let's read the Brazilian Bull extreme type, the oversized.
Follows a standard type guidelines with key differences. The general appearance is more exaggerated features, wider bones, and heavier structure. The head is larger, extremely powerful, with pronounced musculature and more defined stop, 60 to 90 degrees.
For the ones that don't understand what a stop is, real quick, Vito, on the standard, we have a slight 45 degrees angle stop, and we have a proportion of 2 to 3. So 2 parts of the muzzle to 3 parts of the skull. That's a 2 to 3 ratio. And for this extreme, we have a 1 part muzzle to 2 parts of the skull, meaning a 1 to 2 ratio from the skull from the muzzle to the skull. And another crucial type and difference between the American Bully standard to the Brazilian Bull standard. The Brazilian Bull has a tapered to the nose muzzle. We don't have blocky squared muzzles like in the American Bully. Okay, let's go back. Sorry, let's go back here. Okay.
The circumference, the head must be approximately 10 centimeters. 10 centimeters is what, 7, 8 inches?
No,
larger than the height at the withers. Okay, so
what I was talking about 10 centimeters.
So 10 centimeters. So if Shake is 24 at the shoulders, then he should be 20.
Almost 4 inches. 3.94 inches. So the head must be approximately 3.5 inches or almost 4 inches larger than the height. Shake was 23.5 inches tall. Once he muscled up a little bit more, he reached 24 inches tall. And he had a 28-inch head, which means 4 inches more the head than the height. This is when I wanted to say that they are really pushing for really big head dogs. Okay, and Shake is an example that is not very good because he was very tall. But if you get Tractor and Mandibula, they have 29-inch heads, 28-inch heads, and they are 22.5 inch tall. So
I was going to say Tractor passes that along, and Hannah too. Riggs is 27 around the head and 22 inches tall.
There you go. So this is why they're pushing for really extreme and powerful heads.
Okay, the muzzle is shorter than the standard, the 1 to 2 ratio. You kind of went through that. Lips may be slightly loose.
Yes, eyes, for the extreme.
Okay, eyes can be slightly rounder than the standard type. I didn't know that. Forequarters. The forequarters are more muscular, with some allowance for a slight bowing in the front legs if movement is unaffected. The skin is thin, tight preferred, but slightly thicker is acceptable. Loose skin is a severe fault.
Hey, you guys, read that again, Mr. Vito.
Thin and tight is preferred, but slightly thicker skin is acceptable. Loose skin is a severe fault. I think that's the difference too. I see some really nice typey American Bully XLs, and I'll see them, and it's like they got like 5 wrinkles at their withers, on their back. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I guess there probably are some Brazilian bulls like that too. I think it's a thicker skin, and just they have a little bit looser hides. Like maybe we're influenced from an English bulldog or from the Mastiff blood. Okay, the weight expected to be 10% heavier than the standard type due to increased muscle and bone mass.
So the weight on the males in the standard type was at least 100 pounds. So we're looking at the extremes to be at least 110 pounds. And we're talking the minimum, not the ideal, okay?
That's about it, isn't it?
Yes, let's look now at the pictures, because I know everybody prefers looking at pictures than reading, because it's really boring to read, and but when we look at these pictures, um, back is strong and firm with a slight slope from the withers to the croup, and this is why I think that Mandibula is the best representative of the Brazilian bulls, because he checks all the boxes. He has this type of body. Um, he has this type of neck. And I'm just using Mandibula because there's plenty of beautiful uh, examples of the breed in Brazil and here. But Mandibula was voted by the Brazilian breeders and by the institutions in Brazil, the 01, they call it 01. They mean the number one Brazilian bull, because he checks all the boxes, for this standard. And I'm so happy to have him here. You
I was
guys
gonna
have
say, where is he at?
Samba Kennels. Were we reading this, Vito?
You want me to read it?
Yeah, hindquarters. I think we already talked about the back. Did we?
Yeah, we went through all this. I don't know if this is just for the illustrations. Common characteristics, standards of extreme, strong back, firm, slightly sloped, strong hindquarters.
Yeah, I think they're showing the differences in the standard and the extreme.
Common characteristics. No, this is not the difference. This is what they have in common. They are both well angulated. Both of their chests are deep, full, and wide. How do you know if a chest is deep? You look at the elbow line, and it has to go under the elbow line, okay? This is very important, because a deep chest has a wider rib cage that accommodates bigger lungs, better resistant, better stamina, healthier dogs. That's how I see it anyways.
I haven't seen the picture of the standard dog is what I look at, and when I've judged American Bulldogs, you always want the chest to be a little bit lower than the elbow. But I've seen in American Bullies and some Brazilian Bulls some crazy thick or low hanging chest cavities, and I think some of it has to do with their torso is a certain way, but then they have those a little bit of that dwarfism. They have super short legs, which I think in American Bullies is a little more prominent, but I think it happens in both. And I think the problem is everybody wants that really thickness, and it's easy to get thickness when have you ever seen a dwarf with a skinny butt and skinny legs? Never. They have thicker arm muscles. They're stubbier, more cobby. And I think that people can get into that. And I imagine they've done it in American Bulldogs, and I've seen some of the dogs. They've done it in American Bullies. I mean, American Bullies, I think a lot of it has to do with everything's about the proportion. And I imagine it's probably true in some of the Brazilian dogs too. I haven't seen every one in the world, but they tend to not be quite as, I don't see the problem with the dwarfism as much. And that's something that comes directly from Oldie or English Bulldog. But I see it in pockets. I see it a lot in pockets.
Yeah. The tail complete, it should reach approximately the hock. That's why I was measuring the tails when I judged the Brazilian Bulls at Cinco de Mayo. It is also a detail. I'm not gonna, for my breeding program, I'm not gonna be looking at, if the tail is too long or if the tail is too short. But when I'm judging, I want to make sure that the dog that I'm gonna choose has the best representation of the standard on the ring. And in extreme, it is expected that the dog weighs approximately 10% more compared to the Brazilian Bull. We already talked about that. Hey guys, read this out loud, Vito, please.
What is one? Where at?
Right here.
In the Brazilian Bull? Where at?
In the Brazilian Bull Extreme, I already read that, the last
Okay.
phrase, that overweight.
Overweight dogs are not desirable. The weight increase refers to greater muscle volume and more robust bone structure.
Yes, exactly. We don't want overweight dogs. We don't want fat, body fat. We want weight that is lean weight
Muscle
and
weight.
bone weight and muscle weight. Correct. And here's the front general appearance of a Brazilian Bull Extreme. Almond shaped, slightly rounded eyes, a little more rounded is acceptable. Round feet with well-aligned toes, firm metacarpals here. And this is something that I think we need to improve. I see a lot of Brazilian Bulls still that this is perfect, but here is a little, it needs, and we can't be kennel blind or breed blind. The breed still deserves, needs improvement, and this is why we have to talk about everything. Even the shows is there for the community to see the best representatives of the breed. This is in any breed, but also to see what needs improvement. And this is such a new breed, but we have gotten to such a beautiful, consistent type and breed type in so little time, and we are so close to the standard already, and I think that's a huge plus for us to have individuals. Of course, we have a lot of individuals that are not, but in general, when you look at a Brazilian Bull, and I already said that 1,000 times, you know what a Brazilian Bull is because of these traits that we just discussed during this live. And these are the traits that we as Brazilian Bull breeders need to preserve. And I didn't know this until not too long ago, and I am humble to admit that I made mistakes, that bringing the Brazilian dogs here, as I was an American XL bully breeder, I was doing a great, I had the vision, I knew what I was bringing, but I never thought of the separation itself. It took me studying and understanding and networking with the Brazilian breeders to understand the essence of the breed and to understand that this was a separate vision. It was a separate gene pool. It was a separate vision. It was a different location, different environment, different demand, different. Even the videos, you guys notice that the videos of Brazilian breeders, they are different than the videos here. They love to have the dogs looking like crazy. They love to have the puppies with their eyes, they pull their ears. They want them to look like crazy. That's the culture over there. So when you have a different culture, a different gene pool, a different vision, and a different selection pressure, you have a different breed. And you have a different registry that makes the rules and the not the rules, but the guidelines for that breed to develop consistently and healthy and gain popularity. Because without popularity, there's no breed. What defines a breed is the popularity. Whether you like it or not, if a breed has no popularity, it better has unless it has a huge function purpose, like a breed that is the only one that catches a certain type of bird. Lauren can talk about it better than me, but unless it has a super functionality, if it doesn't have demand, a companion breed will not be survive. And what made this breed survive in Brazil is the same thing that's making it grow all over the world. It's the uniqueness. So whether you love or you hate the freaking eyes too close together, these are the dogs that everybody wants now. This is the breed that's growing the biggest numbers in any registry that's registering them right now. Dave Wilson just said it in the last live we had. The numbers in Brazil are, I don't even have the statistics here, but next time I'm going to bring how many breeders We have at least 1,000 breeders in Brazil already. I have no idea how many individuals we have registered, but I'm going to bring that to you. It's the highest demand, in demand breed right now, or on demand breed right now. Why? Because of these unique traits. And why did I separate my dogs from the American bullies? I love the American bullies, and this is why I did it too, to preserve the American bullies, but mainly to preserve the traits that I love in the Brazilian bulls, because we know that them two together, I can make up beautiful individuals, but we lose these unique traits. We lose it. I've been doing this for 3 years. I have amazing individuals. I have amazing dogs, but they lost a little bit of these traits that we want to enhance and we want to preserve. So taking all the comments that I had taken, I'm going to take just a second. All the comments that I had, and some people, asking me, and a lot of people supporting my decision. Business-wise is horrible because I am changing my studs. I could be open to American bullies where I would have, I don't know, 50,000 American bully females ready to breed to them right now. And I chose to close that market for myself, for my program. Maybe I have 20 females of Brazilian bulls right now that are ready to breed, and probably about 100 that are growing, coming imported from Brazil. Maybe we have around 200-300 females total in America. Do I care? No, because I'm a real breeder. I'm not just a businesswoman. And I tell you, I'm a better breeder than I am a businesswoman. Maybe I'm doing okay in both sides, but if I'm doing this for my breed, I'm going to defend this breed to the end. And nobody is going to tell me what a Brazilian bull is other than my mother registry, which is IBC. They rule, they started, and I'm going to follow what they tell me to follow. So my dogs are Brazilian bulls, and they will remain Brazilian bulls. And I am also doing this for my clients, because now everybody that has a Sheikh son or daughter, a Klaus son or daughter, a Tractor son or daughter that are registered as American bullies, guys, you have gems, because this is not going to happen again. These dogs are American bully registered with the best of the Brazilian bull bloodlines. It's never going to happen again. So take care of these dogs and do the best you can with them. Keep them in American bullies if you want. If you want to change them to Brazilian bulls, there must be a way. But if you keep them in American bullies, I applaud you. Do the best that you can. But it's not going to happen anymore. These are dogs that are going to be once in a lifetime. You're not going to have Sheikhs and Tractors and Klaus sons and daughters that are American bully anymore. This is my personal decision as a breeder, as a passionate breeder for my breed. I want to preserve the breed traits, and I want to follow the parent club guidelines for this breed to thrive as it's been thriving for the last few years. I already gave this blood away a lot. I am thankful for this opportunity, because if it wasn't for this process, we wouldn't be where we are today. We needed to bring them here somehow, and this is the way that ABKC provided to us to bring these dogs. But we have to preserve the breed now, because we are in full development. We are in full demand. And I have a huge responsibility as one of the most influential programs in the Brazilian bulls. I have a huge responsibility to keep these dogs as Brazilian bulls, and also protect all my clients that already have their American bullies, and give them a little bit of this benefit of them being unique. This is my gift for the American bully too. But now it's over. Brazilian bulls from Samba Kennels are Brazilian bulls. They came here as Brazilian bulls. Mind you, I'm not changing what they are. I'm just putting them back where they belong. When they came here, Sheikh was a Brazilian bull when he arrived here. He had offsprings as Brazilian bulls. Tractor and Klaus, the same. Hannah and Buchanas, the same. They were born Brazilian bulls. There were 2 years, 3 years of transition and adaptation. But I just think that it's fair that my shake to Buchanan's litter are considered Brazilian bulls, because that's what they are. Okay, you guys, if you have any questions or any comments, I would love to hear. I talked already so much. I want to hear a little bit about this from Didi and Tony and Lauren and Ryan. If you have any comments, Didi and Tony, can I listen to you guys?
Go ahead.
Good moment.
Go ahead.
Well, we totally agree with you. We're 100% backing you, Mama. We're with you. We're going full Brazilian bull at any means necessary. We're with you. We're on board, and we're going to do anything we can to help the family, the Samba team, to get the dogs back where they belong. So we're with you 100%. We love both sides, and I'm not going to discount the American Bully. It's just what we prefer, and like I said, we're 100% backing you. Whatever we need to do, we're there with you 100%.
Thank you.
We love the Brazilian bulls, and that's the route that we've decided to go, and we're on board. We're whatever we need to do, we're doing it.
It's important to preserve their integrity and of the breed. I think you can't water it down. If you start watering it down, you lose it, and you got to give it to the Brazilian culture and the people there. They did a phenomenal job with this breed, and to share it with us, it's an honor. And so to water it down is like a disservice to them. So I'm a firm believer in keeping a breed what the breed is. And whether you have, we have 2 females that are 50-50 in our yard. And I love them both. And one, yes, I think it's going to be very typey Brazilian bull. The other one, not so much. And that's okay. She's great, but she just doesn't fit the phenotype, So, we'll have to make a decision on what to do with that. But that's our decision, and it's going to be not easy to make, but we have to do it. So
thank you, Didi and Tony. And now I want to hear from Lauren. Lauren, she's very involved with this topic, and I want to hear from her about this decision making that we took. We made this decision together, all of us, the family, and Lauren has a big part of it.
Yeah. I think that the most important thing that we need to really point out to people, because, obviously we see all the same comments that everybody else is seeing. There's so much, so many rumors that get spread around by people who don't actually know. They don't take the time to learn. Absolutely none of us hate the American Bully. Nobody is degrading the American Bully, trying to take away from it. We're actually trying to help, because honestly, if you guys will start looking around and asking around, the amount of people that are upset about the crossing is astronomical at this point. Honestly, everybody that is really serious about the American Bully doesn't like the Brazilian Bull being added in, whether it's their eyes, whether it's, their head size, the shape. There's everybody could nitpick something to death if they wanted to. But it honestly is really about preserving both sides. And if people are questioning where they come from, that they're the same thing, all of that, all it takes is looking into it. It's very, very difficult to find a lot of information on the Brazilian Bull, because the Brazilian Bull itself was not actually the Brazilian Bull until probably 1.5 to 2 years ago, when they decided to make the separation in the ABKC. The dog has always been separate. It's always been the pit monster in Brazil. We just have it here now with a different name, because unfortunately, in America, we tend to hate on the pit bull. So anything that came over here that said pit or monster was instantly going to be hated on. It was instantly going to be on the insurance list of don't have this dog. It's on the aggressive dog breed, and for no reason other than it had the same name. So all of the people that are wanting to say it's the exact same thing. There wasn't even a Brazilian bull before there was an American bully. None of that is true necessarily. And if we will all just look into the same history and background, you will be able to find the same answers that we find just by asking people. Ask Brazilian breeders. You know, I mean, honestly, you don't have to speak Portuguese to be able to speak to people over there. We have technology now. AI is amazing. Honestly, I can right click on just about anything and it will translate to English for me, and I can see what's being said. Even the videos on Instagram, you can right click on them or you can click the three little dots and put closed caption, and then you can select to English and you can understand everything that's being said. Nothing is hidden, nothing is being gate kept. I think that everybody really needs to look into it for themselves instead of just listening to what people are putting on Facebook or Instagram or Wikipedia, which anybody can edit. You know, do a little research for yourself before you start jumping to conclusions and spreading false information. That's a little bit of my pedestal. I don't mean to be griping at anybody, and that's certainly not what I mean. But nobody here, none of Samba hates the American bully. I have American bullies, 100% American bullies. Bossy, everybody knows Bossy dogs. I absolutely love those dogs. They will never leave. We are changing what we are doing because we also at this point have learned about this breed of dog that is here and becoming more available to us in the United States. And we absolutely love the things that they have that maybe our American bullies, not all of them, maybe just ours, don't have. But even in talking to people that have the same things, have the same issues that we've had. So it's not like we're just being biased or opinionated. There's a lot of research going into it. So I really hope that everybody will take the time to figure it out for themselves. And realize that we love both breeds and that all of this is to preserve both breeds.
Both breeds, exactly. We had, you know, I remember a lot of people hated on me when I brought Klaus. I had a lot of people. I actually made some good friends that hated me, that you know, that bashed me on lives and stuff. And because I was always very polite and tolerant, and also I always try to see things with a good angle. People that know me better, they know this. I try to understand why people hate on us or hate on our moves, and it was just lack of information, you know. And when people saw that I was bringing these dogs, that all of them are health tested, all of them are embarked, I was one of the first ones to put my embark of Klaus on public and say, hey, he's 6.6% bulldog. He is, I don't know, I don't remember how much, but a little bit percent of American Pit Bull Terrier. He's a mixed breed, guys. It's okay. And he's gorgeous. A lot of your American bullies are mixed breed. Well, all of them are mixed breed. We just have a little delay in timing, and some of them are still mixed breed. Where did the freaking Merles come from? Where did the freaking, you know, we know that it's there. The only difference is transparency. And there's nothing better for a breeder to deal with transparency. And I find out much easier and logical to breed with transparency and knowing where my dogs come from, what are the grandparents, what they are, because we don't need to hang papers. A new breed will take at least 40 to 50 years to define its breed type. And when you close the books too soon, sometimes you are actually pushing people to hang papers because they're not ready to set breed type. And this is why this group of people in Brazil that are technical, that are knowledgeable, and they have vision, they formed the standard for the Brazilian bulls. And luckily, they're also the owners of the registry that decided to not only open the stud books, but also registrate and record and document each filiation. This is why you have F1s, F2s, and F3s. Well, if all these breeds were made and all these other registries had breed formation and stud books open, where is the F1s, F2s, and F3s denominations on their paperwork? I've never seen anybody doing that. So what is the main difference between these dogs? I think it's the transparency. And I rather work with a dog that I know the background, especially if I'm in love with the phenotype and the genotype and the history, especially because it is my country and I'm a bias to say, but I just think that this is just starting. I know I have a lot of Brazilian bull breeders that are starting with this breed, but I tell you, many of my clients are transitioning from American bullies and from other breeds to Brazilian bull. And we have the most classical example right here, Mr. Vito Alu, a encyclopedia, a authority of the American bulldogs, and he has transitioned. I mean, he's still breeding the American bulldogs, but he fell in love with this breed, and he's an authority of the breed now. So if he changed, what tells you that we're not going to change a lot of people to come and join the Samba family movement and join the Brazilian bull movement? You're welcome. Even if you're a hater, I would love to talk to you, educate you on this breed, and make sure that I will change your mind, and you're going to end up loving it, and you're going to be part of the Samba family very soon.
You know what? I'd like to add something. I promise I won't go on too long.
No worries.
The subject is Brazilian bulls explained. And we've talked about the standard, we talked about the physical differences and all this stuff. But I think for anybody that's been into breeding for a while, there is a huge difference. It sounds common sense. It sounds straightforward, but it maybe people that aren't used to breeding dogs might not think it's a big deal. But part of the reason why this breed is the way it is it's, we can talk about selection, but it's not just selection, it's also breed philosophy. And I'm trying to learn as much as I can. And they have the way they develop this breed and bring it along is so opposite of everywhere else in the world. Like there's not many registries or breeding practices or new breeds that even will acknowledge an F1, an F2, F3, have a plan, have this whole mindset. Everybody, I don't know why, but all modern breeds now, everybody wants to claim pure. I've discussed this topic on the American or the Brazilian Bull Nation, and I've had all kinds of people that say they need to close the stud book. These dogs aren't pure. We need to make them pure. But pure isn't just a pedigree. Pure is a dog that reproduces consistently and does it in a healthy way and is healthy and that has a future that they can be bred for the next 150, 200 years. And I've been talking to this young lady in Brazil. I've been bugging the shit out of her, I should say. And I want to read this because I've tried to say this and I just can't get the point across. And she, in this little paragraph, has defined it, at least for me, it just sums everything up. Okay. She puts on here, before closing a gene pool, which is where we're at right now. We American bullies are probably the same, but they're just maybe 10 years ahead of us. But in Brazilian bulls, this is a new breed. This is a new development of a gene pool. We want to produce dogs that look a certain way, but you can't, when you're breeding new breeds, you don't really know what your genetics are until you start line breeding. And when you close a stud book and you don't allow any more outcrossing or any experimentation at all, you're like shutting the door, and you may not have all the tools you need to maintain these monsters. So she put, before closing a gene pool, it is important to incorporate as much useful genetic variety as possible, as long as the desired phenotype and the breed direction are maintained. Do you know how revolutionary or just bizarre that paragraph is? Because
Hey, Vito, can you please repeat it for everyone that didn't catch it? Guys, pay attention to this. And this was talking to Beatrice, the president of IBC, and also the person that, one of the people that wrote the standard for the breed, okay?
Yeah, I've been talking to her. I've been trying to pick her brain, but she's pretty busy. But she wrote back to me this paragraph here, and I told her, I said, holy shit, in this little paragraph, you concisely interpreted exactly what I've been trying to tell people. I think this goes not just in our breed, it should go to everything. This is the opposite of this, or what everybody's doing now is the reason why we have boxers that die of cancer at 6 years of age, Dobermans that fall over dead from cardiomyopathy, King Charles Spaniels that their brain stem's not big enough or too big for their skull. All these weird things aren't normal. This isn't normal in a breed. Before 200-300 years ago, before this whole thing about dog shows and purebred dogs, a dog fed itself half the time. You fed it scraps, but he would run out and get a rabbit or something, or kill somebody's chicken, or they were tough and strong. And now we have dogs that, there's people that have dogs that'll fall over dead if you take them for a walk. So this idea of being upfront, honest, and having a guide, they have guidelines. It's not just everybody's crossing dogs. You can breed to an American bulldog, an American bully, or a pit bull, or they even have oldies, although I don't think oldies have really been put in these dogs that much. So this is a new breed. Breeds are new for 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 years. They're not, people think you take 20 dogs and you line breed on like Arizilla and 20 other dogs, and you're going to have a gene pool to mess with. You can pigeonhole yourself, you bottleneck, and then you're screwed. Then you might lose a lot of these traits. And then if you go to outcross, you've already got defects in the gene pool. So she said, before closing a gene pool, it is important to incorporate as much useful genetic diversity as possible, as long as the desired phenotype and breed direction are maintained. It doesn't mean that you have to outcross. Very few people are going to take the time and energy to do F1s, but we have dogs that are F2s, F3s, and F1s. Big John is an F1, man. I'd like somebody to tell me the dog isn't cool. Doesn't fit the standard, or he's not a dog, that's worthy. He's fucking a freak. He's just incredible. And there's not just one or two. Look at the banner behind me. These dogs aren't just run of the mill. Oh, he's okay. No, they're freaking freaks. They're all monsters. And it happened not because people in Brazil breed like people in the US, or not because they breed like a FCI breeder breeding Dobermans in Paraguay or wherever in Europe, or they breed different. And that's why I'm intrigued with it. I'm like, I want to learn what is going on here. This is a huge difference. And it's a cool situation to be in. I can look at a pedigree. I got them listed. I got Mandibula, everybody. I know how much American Bulldog is in somebody, how much XL, how much Red XL Pit Bull is in these dogs, and how much Bearzilla is in the dogs. And I keep track of all that because I'm trying to figure out, hey, this is what I want to produce. And I can do it. I can look at the pedigree some people say, oh, in the beginning, yeah, maybe there was more American Bulldog put in. Nobody knows for sure. But now everything is up front. There's no shame in the game. There's a guy in Brazil that just did a F1 breeding. He's posted all over the place. People love it. People are flipping out over it. And the puppies look great. The 2 dogs he used look great. It's just, it's very different. I mean, people outcross here, they just hang papers or they hide it. It's been going on every breed it goes on. And what would the breeds be like if it didn't happen that way? There was a guy that was an English Mastiff breeder, and English Mastiffs after World War II were extinct. They had to resurrect the breed with Alpine Mastiff, which is St. Bernard, a little bit of Bull Mastiff, and some Great Dane. And but nobody walks around saying, "Oh, those are mutts." They had to resurrect the breed, and they brought it. And there was a guy called Deer Run, and he saw problems in the breed. And I don't know exactly what he used. If he used a Newfoundland or something, a Great Dane or something. But anyway, fast forward 20 years later, they are the premier dogs. When you see, like in California, there was a guy that used to be called Grupetti. He had an English Mastiff that was 236 pounds or something. They put it next to a little Geo Metro, and the dog looked as big as a car. Those dogs, that Deer Run dude, his dogs are outstriped everything in the show ring, everything. They're healthier, they live longer. So I'm not saying everybody should go crossing dogs and doing all this crazy stuff and think you're going to come up with something, but they've laid the gauntlet. And the reason why these dogs are different, I think, is because they have a different mindset. It's common sense if you really think about it, but all these freaks that we have, it's not just by chance. I mean, if you come up with a dog like Bearzilla, maybe it's dumb luck, but it's not luck when he's got great grandkids, and even like Klaus. Klaus doesn't have any Bearzilla in him. And he still, somehow, he fits the standard. He's a freak. So people, if we're looking at Brazilian Bulls Explained, you have to understand this is totally different. This is totally different. You have they have an open mind, and the results speak for themselves. All this crap about, we've got to close it, we need to do, these dogs need to make them pure. Pure is a construct in your brain. If you think your dog's pure, half the time those dogs they call pure are pure shit. They're not dogs. If the dog's not good, what difference does it make? Back 1,000 years ago, if you had a hog catching dog, if it caught hogs, guess what? It was good. If it didn't catch hogs, guess what? It wasn't good. That's what they did. So if you have a Brazilian Bull today and it's got a chicken neck or it's got a small cheeks and flat head with no muscle, you don't have a very good dog. I don't care what the paperwork says. So we have all these tools on the table, and it's an exciting, if everybody embraces it. I'm not saying you can't line breed. They've line bred and inbred Bearzilla quite a bit, but they allow for this outcross, this F1, F2 program, and it has paid off in spades. And I think if you're talking about explaining the breed, that is a huge foundation. It's just a different breeding philosophy, and it's paid off. And like I said, the breed's not that old. Holy crap. What's going to happen when different breeders take different dogs and start refining them and line breeding them? But if it gets screwed up, guess what? They have the outcross blood to deal with, to mess with, to maybe correct stuff that they get into jam. So I think that is the biggest wow thing that I love about these dogs. It's like, in the United States, people hang papers and falsify pedigrees and all that stuff, and that can really screw you up. If you're breeding to a dog that is 25% a different breed, and you don't like the traits from that breed, or you don't want to mess with the all the stuff that comes with that dog, but you don't know you're breeding it in your dogs. You have no idea. And then you figure out, oh shit, no wonder my dogs are 32 inches tall and look like a Great Dane cross, you know? It's because maybe there's a Great Dane in there. I don't know. I don't want to knock the American Bully because American Bully, it's a cool, for an old guy like me, I always just look at it and think, you know, these kids are nuts. I mean, what the hell are they doing? But then they created some cool shit. And the dogs have wonderful temperaments. And it's a cool idea. It's just, I like the Brazilian Bull muscle and type and stuff better. And that's what motivated me to get in. But I think if anybody takes anything away from this episode, they should start reading pedigrees and look into how these dogs are made. And it's interesting. It's pretty cool. And I'm really excited about the future of seeing what we can do here in the United States. And I'm thankful for the IBC. You know, I first time Aria told me, oh, you're allowed to do F1s, you could do it. I'm like, oh my God, get out of here. They're going to hang us from trees. They're going to freak out because that's the way it is in Europe and the United States. A lot of breeders are like, ugh, I breed, you know, oh, you've got to breed pure. What the fuck is pure? Pure is a good dog. If it fits the standard and it expresses the type, I'd rather have a Brazilian Bull that's 50% Brazilian Bull and 50% something else that is the most hellacious freaking monster dog. I mean, study Mandibula. Mandibula is an F2. I mean, you know, if you're going to criticize him for being an F2, get out of here. You don't know what you're talking about. So I just want to say that's a big thing. If you want to learn, explain what this came from, that's a huge factor. This whole open-mindedness, honesty about what's going on, and it's a new thing, man, and it's exciting. I hope they keep the friggin' stud book open and allow F1 experimentation for the next 20 years, you know?
Yeah.
Let the breeders are going to pick. If you breed a shitty F1 and it's not a good dog, people aren't going to breed to it. If it doesn't fit the breed. So if you just rely on competition is going to always create better dogs, you know. But if the problem is when somebody gets a pedigree and they're like, see, I got all these grand champions, or I got so-and-so and so-and-so and this and that. And then you look at their dog and it's like, ugh, your pedigree sucks. You could wipe your butt with it because your dog sucks. So Brazilians have all the tools on the table and they got a track record. They produce these dogs. Nobody else produced these dogs. Nobody, you know, they didn't come from the United States. They came from Brazil, and that's how they bred them. Did they take breeds that are also in the United States? Yeah. So what? They did a better job. At least it appeals more to what I like. So it's just, I think people need to understand how unique this is in the world of dog breeding. In the last 200 years, I've never heard of anything like this. The only thing I've heard like this is like hunting breeds. Certain registries will allow up to like 3/4, 1/4 outcross, as long as the dog, you know, is a good hunting dog.
Exactly. Vito, and the most fascinating thing about this whole thing is that it's a movement that is taking place worldwide, everywhere where there's new dogs, where people introducing this bloodline, it is just spreading out very quickly. It's almost like a virus, like you get infected by it and you just want to have it more and more. And I cannot be hypocrite to say that not only this is an amazing breed to work with, not just for the temperament, but also for the individuals, what we were just talking about, how transparent it is for you to work with these bloodlines. Their temperament, they're sweet, they're amazing to look at. Everybody it's a wow factor dog. No matter where you go, people are going to stop you. People are going to want to try to take pictures of you and with the dog, and not being hypocrite, but these dogs have been the dogs that have been also putting the most money in the breeder's pocket. So it is a good investment as a business too, if you are in the dog breeding for a business, which most of us are. Don't tell me that, oh, I just do it for the love. If you do it for the love, just donate all your dogs and don't ever sell a dog. Because if you sell one dog for profit, even if it's a return investment, you are in it for a business. Don't be a hypocrite. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's okay to do this a business as long as you are responsible and respectful towards the dogs first and foremost, towards your clients and towards your partners and your breeders and the breed. So, I'm biased because I love this breed. I just love having the opportunity to work with a breed that not only is amazing, it is transparent, it has a great registry that is the parent club that supports us and gives us tools to work with. It's a breed that is worldwide spreading amazingly. The acceptance is what makes a breed. Remember that the popularity is what makes a breed. This is already known. Even ABKC already said to us here in the last live, it's growing very fast, more than they have ever expected. And it has a lot of value. The shake was sold twice, one time for 180K and then the second time for 300K. And I made both sales. I mean, I never in my
And he's
life.
an F2. And he's a freaking F2.
And never in my life would have dreamed to be involved in such numbers. And I've dealt with very expensive dogs. I have world champions. I have Westminster champions. But they never in my life, I thought, so it has so many positive things about being in this breed. And of course, I'm taking opportunity on this live. We still have just a few puppies available on our website. We are not, I don't know how many breedings we're still going to have left this year. So I like to keep some of my puppies for later. And the ones that we have right now, most of them are our picks that we decided to let go for breeders because they are high quality, high caliber. There's just a couple of them that are pets. We do offer a discount for pets. I have to understand, you guys have to understand we're doing a business here, but this is mainly for the breed. And this decision that I made today or yesterday was for preservation of the breed. I could, and I could care less for anything else, because if you are not passionate, you're never going to last in any business. And this is for me more about the breed and being a breeder and having my essence as a breeder of preserving a breed and preserving, because in the long term, we are all going to be winning. I'm doing this for the breed, but I'm also doing this for the business, because if I spread this blood too thin everywhere, soon we're not going to have a breed to work for anymore. Guys, it's been 2 hours, 17 minutes. We have so many people with us here today. I really wanted to read everybody's comments. I'm sorry if I didn't, because we're very late right now. Everybody, is tired, but we are always here. We're going to be here again next week, and send us comments. I would love to hear your comments about this live on the post that I made yesterday on Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to try to find it here real quick. This is the post right here where I announced that we are not, Samba Kennels Brazilian studs are officially closed to the American Bully breedings, now open exclusively to the Brazilian Bull programs, because that's what they are. I want you to kindly send me a message on this post about what we talked about today, and I'm going to answer each one of you. And forgive me for not answering or reading everybody's posts here, comments. I hope to see you next week. This is going to be a week of a lot of emotions for us and a lot of decision making. But we're happy, because I never doubted that this is the best way for me to go. Even if I take a loss today financially in the long term, this is going to be better for the breeders that are with us, for my clients, for my partners, for the breed, for the dogs, and even for the American police. Okay, guys, we love you. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. Please leave your comments here. I want to hear from each one of you what you thought about this live, and share this live, share this post. This is important that we spread the word around. And this is the Brazilian Bull community for you. Didi and Tony, thank you for being with us again. Vito, I love all your inputs. They're very important for us. The Brazilian Bull breed is very honored to have somebody with such high caliber in dog cynophilia like you. Thank you for being with us. Lauren, my good friend, thank you so much for putting up with me, and we have so many achievements to do. We have so many good news to tell you guys in the next couple of months, but let's leave it for now.
Aria, just a quick question for Lauren, Samba South. What are you doing Sunday? What do you got going Sunday?
Well, we got to put that out there. I'm going to see all of your beautiful faces. That's what I'm going to do.
We'll see you Sunday.
We're getting married on Sunday.
What is it?
What he's talking about. Ryan and I are officially going to be husband and wife, I guess you could call it whatever you want at the moment. But I mean, we've basically been attached at the hip since we met, but we're going to make it official on Sunday.
We'll see you Sunday. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm excited to see y'all.
We'll see you on Sunday, Lauren. Thank you, guys. I'm going to leave you as usual. I love to leave a little song to end this. So if you don't want to, wait all the week, I'm sure that there's people, I don't want you guys to go because I love being here. At least I love being here. We're going to listen to another samba song while you close your computer, your phone, and we'll talk to you next Thursday. A lot of good things to come. Good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share the live, like, comment, post, all of that good stuff. I'll see you in the next one.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
We built this from the mud. No talk. All results. Yeah. We from the yard where the champs don't sleep. Bloodline real, the roots run deep. The powerhouse, Klaus, all muscle and tone. Champion tractor for perfection shown. She's that chocolate color perfection. Buchanan's got that smooth connection. The world legend, shine so bright. Now the future's lit, we taking flight. Summer candles, we don't play around. Brazil to the States, we shut it down. Drip too clean, our boots too loud. Talk that talk, we made the crowd proud. Zama, zama, zama down. Zama, zama down.